everybody, and welcome back to Flock's Nest Sports Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Dallas Reppin 52, Ray Lewis of the Baltimore Ravens.
As always, I'm the other half, Brendan, repping 54, Bobby Wagner of the Seattle Seahawks.
We got a great episode for you guys today. We are not doing hockey or basketball right now, as we already had those weeks this month. So we are just kind of all football all day. A lot to talk about in the NFL with coaching hires, playoffs, all kinds of things. So we're going to dive right in. I do believe we have one piece of college football news, so we're going to start with that.
Yeah, and it's kind of related to the NFL as the Steelers' offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, obviously part of Mike Tomlin's staff, is taking the Ohio State offensive coordinator job. So he is removing his name from a couple head coaching opportunities and offensive coordinator opportunities in the NFL to go coach in college. I think this is a fine move for Ohio State. I don't really know what his offense is going to look like on a college level. We kind of know it's a more run-heavy, pro-style offense, which will probably work out pretty well in college football. I think we kind of need more of that currently in college football. But, so Arthur Smith did interview for a couple head coaching ones. I know he was interviewing for Arizona. I think there was another one that I cannot remember now. But he didn't get the jobs anywhere, so he's going to coach in college football. So
nice. Head coaching hasn't really worked out for him. His offenses have been stagnant at best the last few years. Good luck to him and Ohio State.
Yeah. And then NFL breaking news. We'll kind of start in order. The Commanders are finalizing a deal to hire Vikings defensive pass game coordinator Durante Jones to be their next defensive coordinator. Obviously, they had their offensive and defensive coordinator jobs open. I think they have now filled them both. So the Commanders are kind of set for coaching currently. Don't know a ton about Durante Jones. He does come from the Brian Flores tree. Also coached under Vance Joseph. So you kind of expect that style of will bring some pressure. Pretty solid overall tree there. So we'll kind of see what that means for the state of the Commanders defense. Obviously with Dan Quinn, we'll kind of see. I don't imagine he'll call plays, but we'll see.
Don't imagine that he will. There's a chance, given how last season went.
Yeah.
Quinn has decided he needs to be more of a CEO than a play caller. So he may give those duties over to Durante. Look, he's coming from a really impressive staff. The Vikings have had a great defense the last couple of years. Vance Joseph has always been a great defensive coach. I think if you're a Commanders fan, this is a good move.
Yeah. Next, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have filled their offensive coordinator position. They're going with the Falcons offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson. I think this is a perfectly fine move. I didn't think Robinson was bad in Atlanta with the Falcons. So, I think this is a completely justified move. In terms of what it means for the Bucs, I think this is going to be a lot of run game, which I think the Bucs do want. Obviously, Robinson did just have Bijan Robinson, one of the best running backs in the league. So we'll see if he continues to focus on that or if he does change based on the roster. Because I do know the Bucs have a ton of really good wide receivers. So
they also have really good running backs. They're a really talented offense when they can stay healthy.
Yeah, so
I do think this is a job on the line kind of season for Bulls. So
yes,
we will see how that goes.
Next, the Dallas Cowboys have hired their next defensive coordinator, Christian Parker. He was most recently the pass game coordinator and DB's coach under Vic Fangio and the Eagles. So obviously, coming from the Eagles to the Cowboys, going to the division rival. Um, Everything I've seen is his players love him. I think Cooper DeJean has said stuff. Quinyon Mitchell. So obviously, what the Vikings or what the Cowboys needed help with most is that pass rush and getting
Yeah.
to the quarterback. But they were also not good in coverage last year. So I think bringing in a guy that specializes in that passing coverage system can help mitigate some of those issues. I do still think they need to better that pass rush, but they're focusing more on the coverage side, which was also not good last year. So we'll kind of see how that goes.
Look, I think this is a fine move. We'll have to wait and see. I think
defensive mind, kind of.
the draft and free agency will be very important. Now we know the Cowboys don't really utilize free agency, so the draft will be very important. And what they can garner for him.
And they do have 2 first-round picks, so we'll kind of see how they use those. The next move is a very interesting one. The Steelers have hired Mike McCarthy to be their next head coach. This truly
I lost the division to these people last year, and that's insane.
I don't really understand the Steelers. I think the Steelers just need to commit to doing something radical, and they haven't. And until they do, I think they will be the same team. And this move for me is just them continuing the cycle of mediocrity, especially because I'm going to guess Aaron Rodgers is going to come back.
I don't know. So here's my thing, right? So
I
this is the offensive version of Mike Tomlin, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mediocre, middle of the pack. It's not bad. It's not great. It just is. Aaron Rodgers got him fired. Why would we think the two of them are going to work together again?
Because I thought Aaron liked him, but I guess if not, then
he got him fired.
I thought there was some other problems there, but I guess maybe it was Aaron. I guess
I just
then probably not.
I just don't see what the plan is.
But if Rodgers is back, this is just another 9-8, 8
and we've seen that, by the way.
10 and 8 season.
Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, and it was one Super Bowl and mediocrity.
And I'll give McCarthy this: he wins games, and he has proven that he can get quarterbacks playing their best football. I think we can agree that he had Rodgers playing the best and Prescott playing some of his best football. So maybe
that's what I think. I think he is a great offensive coordinator, and he can develop talent. He can't get them to that next level at this point. At least not with what he's had.
And that's why I don't get it. I think if you're the Steelers right now and you're looking around the league, status quo is not good enough. I would have taken a shot at one of the younger guys to see if you can't elevate.
But I also can't help but wonder if the younger guys are like, you don't have a quarterback for me to develop, and you refuse to just one season. I know it sucks. But just tank one season.
Yeah, just be really bad for one season. Stop being mediocre.
To get a quarterback. Or, I'm sorry, trade TJ Watt. Yeah, you're telling me one of the top 5 drafting teams wouldn't take TJ Watt for their first round pick? Clear the cap, get a quarterback?
Yeah. I think, unfortunately, the Roonies are
The
really just. I
Giants not the Giants. They have a great pass rush.
was gonna say not the Giants.
The who's got a fucking
I would
I wouldn't need
call
to see the draft order right now.
maybe the Titans. You could probably get
The Titans,
theirs.
they have a quarterback. They have
Like,
a top draft pick. Trade TJ Watt.
but yeah,
You need a
they need
quarterback.
to just go drastically in one direction, and they just have never decided to go drastically in any direction. And
And
that's
this was not that.
so.
This was the safest coaching decision you could have made.
And it wasn't even the best. I think the safest would have been McDermott, and at this point, McDermott was available. So I don't get
It's
it.
fair.
I don't understand the thought process, but whatever.
I don't know.
The Steelers have been living in a world of mediocrity for decades, and I think they're going to continue to live in the world of mediocrity.
It's fair.
Next is the Dolphins have hired their offensive coordinator. They are going in house and hiring Bobby Slowick, who was most recently their passing game coordinator. Um, Obviously, Slowick did spend his 2 years with the Texans. Was kind of responsible. Was there for C.J. Stroud's first year, rookie year. Some said he was responsible for that kind of success. It then went really downhill in that second year. I don't I don't really know what this means for the Dolphins. Um, I think this is an interesting hire. I just don't know if it's the right one. But the offensive coordinator pool is disappearing fast.
Quickly. And there are just questions, I think, about what your offense is going to look like and what your options are.
Yeah,
Um,
and what you're gonna do at quarterback.
with yeah. So it will be interesting to see.
I think that's going to be. I wonder if that's why they went with a slightly more. I don't want to say they went in house because at least this guy knows what he's
Knows
getting into. I
he
guess
knows the temperature of that locker room. He knows what's the
where.
most you can get out of him, and is that the best option?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say no, but that's just me.
we'll see. We've seen it kind of work, but I don't think it's going to. So next up is the Packers have replaced Jeff Hafley and hired a new defensive coordinator. They're going with Jonathan Gannon, who was most recently the Cardinals head coach. Um, I think this is a classic case of Gannon is a good coordinator. I think he showed a lot of good stuff when he was with the Eagles. Um, just not built to be a head coach. I think he was doing good stuff
Yeah.
defensively for the Cardinals with how bad that defense was in terms of personnel. So I think this move is all right. There are things to like about it. I will say there are things to not like about it, but I think with better people, we might see his defense improve. And you also have to think he might have Micah Parsons next year. We'll kind of have to wait and see how long it takes him to come back. But like with the improvement in personnel, we might see
Yeah.
his defense perform just a little better.
Um, I mean, you're definitely upgrading roster and organization. The Cardinals are not stable. They are not functional and
Because we'll talk.
just kind of a mess. So I don't think his time with the Cardinals will kind of count against him for a future head coaching job.
I think
But
yeah.
I think right now to just go
he's got to get back and
to
just be
yeah
a
to
coordinator.
to go to a competent organization, a talented roster should be good.
I think it's very
We're going to
telling.
see the best out of him.
Yeah, I think it's very telling that there's only 3 head coaching availabilities left, and one of them is the Cardinals. So
Yeah,
we'll kind of see there.
it's a
Um,
very unattractive position.
yeah. Next, John Harbaugh filling out his staff. He's bringing in Denard Wilson to be the DC for the New York Giants. He was just the DC defensive coordinator with the Titans. Um, Obviously, he spent, I want to say, a little bit of time in Baltimore
He
under Mike
did.
under Mike McDonald. I don't think he was ever the defensive coordinator there,
No.
but wasn't the best in Tennessee. But again, I think that could just be a product of it being Tennessee currently. So
I think their defense was the best part of them. They also fired their head coach midseason, and there were a lot of things wrong
yeah,
there. So we'll see how that goes.
yeah. And then some other interesting news: the Jaguars have confirmed that their offensive coordinator Grant Udinsky and their defensive coordinator Anthony Capinelli will both return for the 2026 season. Both of them had interests for head coaching jobs. The Browns were interested in Udinsky. I know the Cardinals were interested in Capinelli. Um, so obviously, for them to decide not to is very telling on those kinds of jobs. Um, because I want Udinsky didn't get the Buffalo job, and I think that's a job he really wanted. He's also very young, so it's not that surprising, and I think it is better for him to kind of be selective in his
Yeah.
search. So I want to say he also agreed a new contract that makes him significantly higher paid. So there's also that.
Yeah. When I had seen it, it was he told the Browns no, agreed to a new contract, but was still able to pursue the Bills head coaching job. When it was clear he kind of wasn't going to get it, he returned to
Jacksonville.
what do I know? Jacksonville.
And then speaking of the Bills, they went and hired Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, to be their next head coach. This was kind of the leader in the clubhouse. I think it was between him or Brian Daboll for me in terms of who they went for. So they went with Joe Brady, the in-house hire. This is not surprising. I just think this is, again, the Bills oddly being a dysfunctional franchise. Um,
Yeah.
because I think it was very clear that nobody really wanted that job other than the fact that they had coach Josh Allen. And I think at a certain point, I think we saw that even that wasn't enough to convince people to go work there.
And you hire the OC that he's had for 3 years.
I think that's right.
Do you think that suddenly you're going to get something different out of Josh Allen?
I don't think. Yeah.
Like, what's the hope here? Because he's the play caller. It's not like, okay, if say the Kansas City Chiefs, right, fired Andy Reid, and they made Bieniemy their new head coach,
It would be
right?
more like
Bieniemy doesn't
making.
call plays, so you're like, okay, maybe you're gonna see something different, but Joe Brady calls plays.
Yeah, this is.
So I'm confused on how it's going to be better with him as the head coach.
I don't think they're counting on the offense being better. I guess I don't. Again, I don't really know what the Bills are doing. Like,
Just wondering what the plan is.
I don't think they have one. Like, honestly,
Clearly,
because
that's the reason I wouldn't hire Dable. Right? Is I think we saw the most he was going to get out of this roster. We've seen that. We moved on. Just not sure.
Yeah, and like obviously the defensive coordinator is really going to what matters for the Bills at this point. Because again, we've seen this offense. We know how this offense is going to do. Can the whatever defensive coordinator bring in be better than Sean McDermott? I doubt it. But I guess we'll see. Maybe they get lucky and find the next guy. But if you find the next guy, he's gone in a year. So
Yeah.
sure. Um, Next, speaking of, I guess, Brian Daboll, the Tennessee Titans have agreed for him to be their next offensive coordinator. He is still in contention for the Raiders head coaching job, but this is, I guess, his fallback plan is to go be the Titans offensive coordinator under Robert Saleh. So I think this is a honestly pretty all right move for the Titans. Obviously, Dayball very good at kind of developing younger quarterbacks. With Cam Ward there, I think this is a perfectly fine setup. We've seen what he can do as a coordinator and what he can do as a head coach, and I do think coordinator does just suit him better. So
Look, he got Daniel Jones to
the
a
playoffs.
playoff win. He kind of turned Josh Allen into what he is. And I didn't think he should have been fired with Jackson Dart. Um, I think he develops young quarterbacks really well. So I think for the Titans and for Saleh, who's never had a quarterback, true opportunity, and to have someone that can develop that young talent, I think is a great move. I think it shows Saleh's maturity and
I think it makes a ton of sense.
prowess as a head coach. I think it's a great move, and I think it's a great move for Daboll.
Yeah, I think this is a. I really like what the Titans are building over there currently,
Yeah,
as it stands. Um, Next up is the Jets have parted ways with offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand, so they are now looking for an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. Um, I don't get why teams do this. You have been out of the playoffs for 4 weeks, and you've known you weren't making the playoffs for significantly longer than that.
for way longer.
So your offseason started months ago. Why are we just now making this decision? Like,
You're so late to the fucking party,
Dayball's
and
gone. All these.
all of your best options are gone.
So
You
what's
would have
the?
been better off just rolling it back one more year
And it's not even like I think,
and then firing them.
and I think Tanner Engstrand is a young offensive coordinator in his first season without a quarterback. I don't get this decision. I don't think you're bringing in anybody at this point that is going to make a real difference for your team. So I don't get this decision.
And for who? You don't have there aren't enough quarterbacks coming out of the draft.
Yeah, there's
Mendoza will be gone. For what?
if you're the Jets, this isn't. I don't know. This just don't make sense. I'll be interested to see who they hire. There's just not very many names left. Um, and if I'm the Eagles, I'm thanking my lucky stars because they have put off their hiring way too long. And I think the Jets might have just gifted you a guy that can probably plug in and do it.
Yeah.
So not sure there. And then the Broncos doing the same thing. The Broncos do at least have an excuse of, they just got knocked out of the playoffs. They're firing their offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi. Um, I don't pretend to understand this one either. I have a theory as to why they did this. I think they really want to keep Davis Webb, their quarterbacks coach, and he's currently getting head coaching looks from the Raiders. That's kind of who everyone thinks the Raiders are going to hire. So I think this was their way of being able to keep him. Of what if we make you the offensive coordinator here? Will you
Yeah.
stay? So I wonder if that was a decision. I just don't like those kinds of decisions. Um,
I don't like those kinds of decisions. And we're obviously going to talk about the Broncos game. and we're going to talk about the Broncos season and their potential. And that was not his fault. So this has to come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And
again, I think for me, the only thing that would make sense is them thinking we want to keep Davis Webb, who's never called plays. And don't get me wrong, he won't have
and won't call plays in Bronco.
But
in Denver.
And that's why I don't also understand this from Davis Webb. If you want to stay, you're not calling plays. So I just don't get this one, I guess.
This isn't better for you.
You're just going to get paid more, but you're not going to get paid more than if you were a head coach.
Head coach. No. Definitely not.
Just an interesting decision there from the Broncos. And then the last piece of news is one of the most controversial things I've seen in a while. It has been announced that Bill Belichick is not going to be a Hall of Famer this year. He did not get the required 40 votes, 40 out of 50, to become a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't like Bill Belichick. But this is fucking awful that he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. How in the actual fuck do you not make him a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I don't want to hear about his career without Brady. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care. Let's talk about Andy Reid's career without Mahomes, right?
Like, every coach needs a quarterback to get there.
You need a quarterback. He took, by the way, the 199th draft pick and turned him into the GOAT. For 2 decades, dominated the league. 2 separate dynasties.
8 Super Bowls.
How? How is he not? Like, okay, I get it, right?
He's not likable.
Annoying. He's an asshole. He's got some weird life crisis. I don't know shit going on right now. None of my fucking business. But he is a Hall of Fame head coach. Like, he just is.
So,
his time with Brady is relevant. It's the only thing relevant.
Yeah, how the voters came to how more than 10 voters came to the decision that he is not a Hall of Fame quarterback or Hall of Fame head coach will just blow my fucking mind. Like, what are we talking about? He's one of the greatest head coaches in the NFL ever. Period. Put a stamp on. Like,
it's just what it is.
You don't have to like the man. You don't have to, and I don't. But by God, he's a Hall of Famer.
You can disagree with how he was a GM, and that's fine. And that's more of a conversation for the Patriots. But as a defensive-minded head coach with Tom Brady at quarterback, who, by the way, Tom Brady would tell you 10 toes down with his full fucking chest that he would not have made those Super Bowls without Belichick. If you had given Tom Brady to another franchise, we wouldn't have had him at all.
Probably not. So I cannot feasibly understand how this happens.
It's ridiculous.
But whoever those people are that didn't vote for him should legitimately be investigated for whatever
they should lose whatever
and
fucking responsibility
all
they
credibility
have that allows you to make that decision, because I want to know what in God's fuck qualifies you to then be a Hall of Fame head coach. if it's not 8 Super Bowl appearances and 6 wins?
Like,
I'm gonna need it explained to me. It's 9. It's 9 Super Bowl appearances
it's 8
and
wins.
6 wins. It's
No,
not 8.
he has 8. He's an 8-time Super Bowl winning head
Oh,
coach.
because he had 2 with another team. That's right. So I just need you to explain it to me.
Like, I this
Like,
is honestly ridiculous.
I'm just confused on a level that I don't understand. This is ridiculous. It's disrespectful, and it's not honest or genuine. You can't tell me anything is a valid enough reason to negate the best parts of his career. The worst parts do not negate them.
Like, and I
He
don't
still did them.
even if because it doesn't matter because he's coaching in college now, but that shouldn't be a reason. That's like
No,
guess what?
he
The
was
NFL
eligible for the NFL's Hall of Fame.
and guess what? They changed the rule pretty much for him. That's the insane part. Is
Yeah,
they
he was supposed to be eligible this first year
and it was like they almost changed
so
the
that we
rule
could do it,
for him.
and then you chose not to? It's outrageous.
Yeah, it was a choice, and yeah,
It was an insane one.
to those voters, yeah, that you should have your voting power. I mean, completely stripped, and
Taken. Because it's ridiculous.
because that is just a level of
That's a level
bias
of biased.
and downright just almost incompetence.
It's incompetent. It's stupid. It's I need it explained to me. I need it explained to me.
Yeah.
On what in the fuck made you think something disqualified him?
And now, all I want is the NFL to release like who voted and how they voted.
Yeah.
And those people to then write like a this is
I
why
want that statement.
I want a statement. And it better be a damn good fucking statement.
Like,
And it won't be, but yeah. It's fucking ridiculous that he's
crazy.
not a Hall of Fame head coach.
It's crazy. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Nope. None.
Well, with that insanity, we will move on. We are going to briefly talk about the Ravens, as they had some breaking news as well. And then we will get into a championship weekend with the AFC and NFC having fought in their championship games. And we'll talk those. So starting with Baltimore, they have hired their new head coach. They hired Jesse Minter. He was previously the defensive coordinator for the Chargers. He has also been on the defensive coaching staff for the Ravens. He's also been on the defensive staff for Jim Harbaugh in college. So in short, he is Mike McDonald 2.0. And he is John Harbaugh Jr. That's who we've hired. Now,
I mean,
how do I feel about this? I wanted a defensive-minded head coach. Being Jim Harbaugh's head coach assistant the last 2 years gives me a level of confidence. Because the thing I wanted, if you all remember previous episodes, I wanted someone with head coaching experience. Because in the middle of Lamar's prime, I do not need someone that doesn't know how to manage the clock, manage timeouts, or do any of that shit. I don't need that for the first year. I don't. I need someone that knows what they're doing right now. Do I have faith in Minter's ability to do that? No idea. Do I have faith in Jim and John Harbaugh's ability to teach that? Yes, I do. So I will give benefit of the doubt. This is fine. Fine. I don't know. Mike McDonald went very well. And I understand that we're looking at Seattle going, why couldn't that have been us? It's not us. It's too late. He's gone. We're happy for him. We're bitter, but we're happy for him. It's a fine move. If he can get the defense turned around, I'm happy. I am highly critical of who he hires at offensive coordinator, and we're running out of time.
I think that's...
Because I promise you, if we hire Greg Roman, I will get on here and I will throw shit.
I wasn't going to say it.
I will throw shit.
I wasn't going to say it.
Been there, done that, don't want it. The Chargers, been there, done that, don't want it. I have concerns. We're taking a very long time to make this decision. I don't particularly care who we hire at DC. I do not imagine they will call plays. I just don't. It will be important in terms of maybe practice runnings and things like that. But offensive coordinator is my main concern right now. We'll see how it goes.
I wouldn't be surprised if your DC, though, was like a... I can't think of a good name off the top of my head. But like a former...
I think it'll be...
A former head coach.
I think it'll be a... Or it'll be someone that was on his staff.
That too. I could see that.
LA. Look, it's a fine hire. I just don't know. I don't know. Final thing I want to discuss when it comes to Baltimore. I am really fucking tired of getting on here and explaining that no, I do not think Lamar Jackson is going anywhere. I just don't.
This one's on him.
I'm really tired of he's gonna leave. Right now, he is still under contract. I understand that he likes Florida. Okay, I do. I get it. He doesn't like the cold. He's not leaving. He's not going to Miami. They're not trading him. And Miami can't afford his fucking cap. So
not with how much they're paying Tua. So
just to break it down. As for Lamar, if he's frustrated, you have a brand new head coach. Walk it off. Don't think he's going anywhere. Not concerned. Now, if the draft comes and goes and the next season starts and nothing's been done with his contract, then we can talk about concerns. But if you're going to trade Lamar Jackson, you best do it before the draft. So,
yeah.
Not concerned. Don't think it's going to happen. But
I'm not going to say it. Not going to. Couple things. One, I don't know how valid this is. It is from a pretty well-trusted account. Ari Merov. I can't say his last name.
okay.
But he's a pretty decent insider. Has a report from ESPN report. Bill Polian was a vocal figure in the Hall of Fame deliberations involving Bill Belichick, with Spygate and Deflategate coming up among voters during discussion. Per a voter who spoke anonymously, Polian, the former Bills and Colts GM and Patriot rival, told voters that he believed Belichick should wait a year as penance for Spygate and Deflategate. As of now, that is the only reason I could think that would actually make sense to convince voters not to.
Well,
it's
hard to disagree with that.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's...
I would say, hypothetically, Was he ever truly punished for those things? With fines, I think once they lost a draft pick.
Yeah,
It just was never such a big deal. So I'm gonna be honest with you.
it it made sense,
Now I kind of respect it.
but also I still think it's dumb.
I think it's dumb, and I do think I think you kind of undermine the Hall of Fame
I don't think it should be
by
the Hall
doing
of Fame
this.
voters that get to decide. That should
Yeah,
be the judge jury in that scenario. But
like
I guess
he is a Hall of Fame head coach. Um, he is a first ballot Hall of Fame head coach. So I do think this undermines the validity and kind of the sanctity of the Hall of Fame. It's not your job to punish people.
no. So
I understand the thought process. I do. Still don't think this was the moment.
no. So um, it's at least more of an explanation I can understand, but it's still not, in my
Yeah,
opinion, justified.
fair.
And then the
Valid.
other thing, I want to say the Ravens hired an offensive coach, but they hired the O line coach of the Falcons, which is really interesting because for them to hire a offensive coach, they have to have somebody in mind.
I'd take a guess who.
Who?
Kubiak?
Which one?
Clint?
Lateral move, you won't do it? I think they pull somebody off the Seahawks staff because I think that's why they haven't made the announcement. I think there's a verbal agreement somewhere. They just can't announce it because
They just can't announce it yet.
they're on a Super Bowl staff. Because yeah,
The Titans did officially hire Dable.
okay. I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah,
Just because I do know he's still technically in contention for the Raiders.
I think he took himself out of it.
Okay, interesting. But yeah, I cannot think of this O line coach's name. But he's with the Falcons, and I think that is an excellent hire. The Falcons' offensive line is one of the best in the league. Their
Yeah.
run game is very good. I'm trying to find the guy's
Look,
name.
if that's real, I'm not unhappy with it. You know, they have a strong O line. They focus heavily on the run. I'm not unhappy with it.
Let me see if I can find it. I know it's somewhere.
Dwayne Ledford.
Yes. Um,
Nothing finalized with Ravens assistant coaches yet, but a strong candidate to join Jesse Minter's new staff is O-line coach Dwayne Ledford.
so I think what my guess is they're gonna go with one of like an offensive guy from one of Seattle or um, New England, where they probably already kind of have an agreement in place. They just can't release that they have some agreement in place. And then, yeah. And if I had to guess, I think I know who it would be from Seattle. But um, just because I know he doesn't call plays, and he would be the contingency plan for a Kubiak, and that's our pass game coordinator, Jake Peets. Worked under McVay for a while, obviously under Kubiak now, so has really strong ties to that kind of scheme that Ledford runs. So that would be my guess as of right now.
While I don't think Lamar had a say in head coach, I do think he will have more of a say and input on OC.
I think you could be right.
So,
So,
and I don't think anyone's taking the job, much like Monken when this happened a few years ago, taking the job if you're not certain Lamar Jackson's going to be your quarterback.
no. And that's, I wonder.
Now, do I think EDC is currently working on Lamar's new contract? No, they've been a little busy. You know, new head coach and all.
Interesting. Something else that the Ravens requested to meet with Declan Doyle, who's currently the OC of the Bears. But he recently also withdrew his name from the Eagles' offensive coordinator position. So, fun stuff. I don't know. I think
Right now, it's a lot of guessing. It's a lot of what will happen.
yeah. And I guess the Ravens are in a decent spot. I think if Lamar's there, a lot of people are going to want that job.
Yeah.
So I don't think they necessarily have
The
to
only
worry.
way you have questions is if they cannot guarantee you that Lamar is going to be your quarterback.
Yeah.
But based off Bisciotti's press conference, based off how things have gone so far in his career, I do not think Lamar is looking to go anywhere.
Probably not. But yeah, I think. Um, it is interesting, though, that they really haven't had anybody even kind of be linked to fill that job. So we'll see.
I think it means they have a name.
I do too.
So
We'll see.
well, we will move on to championship weekend. And we will start with the first game Saturday was Patriots Broncos in Denver. Patriots get the win 10-7. Was a really good game and a really bad game. I want to be really clear about this. The Patriots were not the better team.
No?
They were the mistake-free team with their starting quarterback who did not play well.
Yeah.
He
Now,
threw for 86 yards. He rushed for like 30, I think.
he actually had like 60 on the ground. That
Okay.
was what, honestly, that was really the
So,
difference in the game. Was Drake May was making plays with his legs and Stidham wasn't. 65.
and
10
I
carries,
think,
65.
okay. I think Sean Payton game called that based off him having Bo Nix, not Jared Stidham.
And that's.
Everyone in the world is talking about the fourth down call. Rather than kick the field goal, they chose to go for it with a weird slant pass. Attempted was not a good decision. It was not good awareness of his roster or of the weather.
Yeah.
Because the moment the snow started, it was a great game, right? Football in the snow is always great. Was
But
not,
you
could not get
can't.
anything done.
And as Peyton, you can't pass up points when you know the weather is going to turn to shit and points are going to be at a premium.
Yeah.
And
And at
everybody
that
knew,
point, you were shutting them out.
and everybody
It
knew
was 7-0.
that the weather was going to be bad.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So I think this really lies at Sean Payton's feet. I do not think the Patriots were the better team, but they were the better run team. And they were the better coach team in that moment.
Yeah, and again, they made it count when they needed to. They hit a couple big plays. They made their field goal. They did what they had to. They created 2 turnovers.
So, I do not think the Patriots will win the Super Bowl. Or super clear. It was a fine game. I, as a Broncos fan, was kind of glad they didn't win. I think to then go on to the Super Bowl with Jared Stidham, it's just not what Broncos fans want. It's also not what the sport wants. I know Nick Foles is a great story, right? But
it was also
it's a little different. You want your starting quarterback. No starting quarterback, no franchise quarterback wants to get a ring they didn't actually get to play in or play for. It doesn't count towards his career. So, it was a bummer, but it was also kind of best case scenario. But no, I don't think the Broncos were the better team. I think the Patriots outcoached them and had, like you said, those couple of moments where they were able to capitalize and against a backup.
Yeah, I don't think the Patriots played particularly well in this game. But again, they made the plays when it mattered at the end of the day.
So,
and the Broncos didn't. The Broncos had that really, I feel bad for Stidham, but you simply cannot have that kind of turnover when he did. That fumble,
yeah.
when you're up and your defense is playing lights out, you cannot give the Patriots short field in that situation.
No. And then, the interception.
The interception.
To Gonzalez.
You're trying to
it was all just compounding terrible.
Yeah,
So.
I do. I just think for the Broncos, their defense was as advertised, but I think from a coaching standpoint and just a team standpoint, they got outdone. I think you saw what it could have been had they kept it simple and just done what they were trying to do. That first quarter was great. But yeah, not kicking that field goal and just kind of letting the Patriots hang around was not the answer.
And they just never got it back.
Yeah, so.
Unfortunate.
But
I do think, as a Broncos fan, I'm happy with how the season went. I think there's a lot of potential in this team and in Bo Nix. It's a shitty way for it to end, but
you're there. So
this is the hand you were dealt. I think you were right there. And I think it's a division still for the taking. So
yeah. So Obviously, a healthy Bo Nix next year, and we'll kind of see what
Yeah.
happens
And congratulations
to the New
to the
England.
Patriots and Drake May and Vrabel.
Yeah,
A lot of people been in the league a long time, making their first Super Bowl as a head coach. Um, Stephon Diggs making his first Super Bowl. Um, Drake May.
getting there, being the
This
first of
is
his
really the
class.
moment. Um, yeah. So it's great to see. We'll talk more about how we think that game's going to go here in a little bit.
And
But
probably,
first,
honestly, we're probably going to spend more about how the game's going to go next week, just since there's no game next week.
that's right.
Um,
Um,
but yeah,
but
first,
first, we will talk Seahawks Rams as the NFC Championship played that night.
yeah. So obviously in Seattle, the Seahawks get the win, 31-27. Um, they're going to the Super Bowl, and it hasn't quite hit me yet that they're going to play for the Super Bowl. I don't think it will until they start playing for the Super Bowl, and I'm kind of glad that is true. Um, but this was an awesome game, and it lived up to everything we thought it was going to be. It was a close game. It was hard fought to the very end. Um, at no point was I comfortable in this game. Um, so um, on the Rams side, they played a hell of a game. Matthew Stafford went out there and balled out. Um, he had 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. They were dicing up the Seahawks defense, which is not easy to do. It frankly isn't. Um, it seems that the only team that has any answers for this defense is the Rams, and they continue to do it. Their ground game was all right with Williams and Corum. Puka Nakua, I don't like him, but he's a damn good football player. Was kind of torturing the defense with 165 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Adams was really good with 89 yards and a touchdown. They got contributions out of their tight ends. Everything was going really well for the Rams. Um, their defense was playing well for the most part, getting some stops when needed. I think the thing for the Rams, and it's been their Achilles heel all year, was the special teams. And we saw that first punt that he almost muffed. Got lucky. The Seahawks player went to the side of him, not in front of him. He was able to fall back on it. And then in that third quarter, that muffed punt, the Seahawks recovered and then immediately turned into a touchdown. To me, that was really the difference in this game. Was that one turnover, because that was the only turnover in the game. Um, so, for the Rams, your special teams had been the Achilles heel all year. You fired your coordinator going into the playoffs, and again, it wasn't good enough. And I do think that was the kind of the reason this Rams team's lost. And I think it's the reason Seattle won. Is they are a good team in all three phases. They don't have a phase that you can genuinely sit there and say, this is their weak point. This is what's going to get them killed. So awesome to see that. On Seattle's side, I didn't think I was going to say this. Um, I think we talked about it last week. For the Seahawks to win, they were going to have to rely on the defense, rely on the run game, and not ask Sam Darnold to do too much. That's not how they won this football game. Sam Darnold played the game of his life, the game of his career, the biggest moment of his career. And to anybody who has doubted him and has said he can't win the big game, quite frankly, fuck you at this point. I'm taking Ernest Jones' words because he just showed you in the biggest game, the biggest moment, that he can go toe-to-toe with the league MVP, arguably one of the best quarterbacks to ever play, Matthew Stafford. And I think he outdueled him, not just because he
He
won.
did. He did. Statistically, he outdueled him.
Stafford has all the statistical stats other than the 3 touchdowns. What Sam
Third
Darnold
down.
was third down. Stafford did not complete a pass on third down. Darnold, when I want to say 6 for 9. So I want to say his
It
third
is
down
the
stat line.
first time in Stafford's career he did not complete a pass on third down.
Yeah. So
And he used to play for the Lions, just so we're super clear.
Yeah. So for Darnold to do that in that stage was absolutely incredible. And again, for anyone that was doubting him, enough. I think he's more than proven that he can do this. Um, in terms of run game, it struggled for a portion there. It wasn't at its best. K9 did get the touchdown, so he did do enough. In the passing game, we finally saw Rashid Shaheed get a deep ball. It was awesome. That was his only catch of the game. Was first drive.
It was a great catch, though.
First drive, 51-yard gain. I thought he was going to get to the house. He ended up just not quite having enough of a step.
Not quite.
But it was still a great moment on third down, 51-yard gain. Finally seeing Shaheed get that deep ball. Obviously, a huge addition in the trade deadline, so that was awesome. And then Jackson Smith-Njigba, 10 catches, 153 yards, and the touchdown. He's been excellent all year. He continues to be excellent. So that's awesome. Cooper Kupp, another guy that you could not help but feel happy for. Against his former team to get the game-winning touchdown for a team that kind of just kicked him to the curb, said that he should retire. For him to get the game-winning touchdown in that game, in that moment, was huge. Couldn't feel happier for the guy. And then the last touchdown was Jake Bobo. So for a guy that coming into the playoffs had 2 catches. So far this playoff, he has 2 catches in the playoffs. Both of them were huge. One of them on third down against the 49ers, and then this one to get that touchdown. Great route, great throw. But Jake Bobo coming alive. So that was cool. Defensively, this was not a good performance, like at all, in my opinion. I felt like we were getting diced up every which way. Obviously, only 1 sack. That is the first time since 2023, though, the Seattle Seahawks have sacked Matthew Stafford. So getting that sack was still nice, even though it was a face mask. It was a pretty obvious face mask.
It was absolutely a face mask.
That was missed. I think the refs had a rough one in this game on both sides. I think there were some missed calls. But at the end of the day, they were going both ways, so I don't think you can complain too much about it. Defensively, Witherspoon had one of his roughest games of his career. Was getting picked on, was kept slipping and falling. And then when it mattered the most, at the end of the game, on their final drive in the red zone, he gets the pass breakup on third down and the pass breakup on fourth down to really kind of seal the game for the Seahawks. Gave the ball back to the offense. Offense didn't give it back until like 30 seconds on the clock. So for Witherspoon to have a really rough game and then to turn around and have 2 of the biggest plays in the game was really awesome to see. Nick Emenwari, I felt like, was the only defensive player that really stood out the whole game in a good way. Was making plays, had 3 passes defended, looked great. I don't think you can talk about this game without mentioning Reek Woolen, as he had possibly the worst 2-play sequence to ever exist. Really has a great pass breakup on third down to get it to 4th and 12. In a moment of the game in which I thought that was the moment. That was the moment you had kind of been waiting for as a Seahawk fan of you're up by 11 at the time. 1 stop, get you the ball back. You can go make this at least 2 touchdown game if you get a field goal. Or if you go get a touchdown, it's a 3-score game. This would be a great moment. And then he gets that taunting call, which you can argue that taunting should not be called in an NFC Championship game, and I would probably agree. But at the end of the day, the ref gave him like 2 warnings, and he did not listen, so they threw the flag. He has to be smarter than that, and truth be told, watching it, I thought they were going to lose. I thought that was the moment that was going to flip the game on its head, and especially after the next play with the Puka Nacua touchdown, I thought that was a moment they just completely ruined everything they had. And and they were going to lose. Thankfully, that wasn't true. So for them, I guess that was awesome. Um, but yeah, I think all in all, you're going to the Super Bowl, so I can't be too disappointed with the result. It was a fantastic game. Um, the Rams are a great team. We've seen it all year. The third matchup between these two teams did not disappoint. Obviously, we had discussed that the previous two were decided by a combined 3 points. Now the season series of 3 games has been a combined 7 point, a touchdown difference in 3 combined games. Simply just an incredible 3 game series. Um, yeah, just awesome to be in the Super Bowl.
Well, congratulations to Brendan and his Seahawks. Um, this was the best game of the playoffs so far. Just full stop. That's to me, that's the answer. These were the two best teams I thought in the NFL, in the
That would
entirety
be
of the NFL, and they played like it. Um, they went toe to toe the whole game. I I really did not have a dog in this fight. I thought both were great stories. Um, for the Seahawks to get the win, they just were the better team. Um, the special teams mishap by the Rams has been their Achilles heel. It's what got their special teams coordinator fired. Unfortunately, it hasn't helped. Um, I think the main story of this game is Sam Darnold. We're going to go back in time. 2018, April something.
28th. Oh.
And with the first overall pick, the Cleveland Browns take Baker Mayfield. And number 3, the Jets take Sam Darnold. At 7, the Bills take Josh Allen. At 10, Josh Rosen. And at 32, Lamar Jackson. And the first person to make a Super Bowl was Sam Darnold. The man that's been doubted, disrespected, tossed out, said he couldn't do it and he should be a backup. Has now had 2 14-win seasons back to back.
Has won 30
and
games
is taking a team to the Super Bowl. It's incredible.
And
it says a lot on how we judge quarterbacks. It says a lot on how we decide someone's a bust. And I think it opens questions to quarterbacks that have been written off in their career because of where they went.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, and I think this is worth noting, and this is not shade towards Lamar or Josh Allen at all.
No.
But I also saw something. Sam Darnold did benefit from having the number 1 DVOA defense. That is completely true. You can't take that away. Like, that is
no
who the Seahawks are. But Josh Allen has had top 5 defenses for most of his career. Lamar Jackson, when he went to the conference championship, had the number 1 defense as well. So on an even playing field,
I do not think that you can give this moment to any other part of that team. They played well, and you've had a great defense all year. You still need a quarterback that in the biggest moments gets bigger.
Because that defense...
And that has been in doubt, and that has been in question. And everyone thought the Rams had Sam Darnold's number, and he went out there and he balled out like a motherfucker.
And truthfully, this was one of the worst defensive performances for the Seahawks this year.
Yeah. And it is his career best game.
And when they needed him to step up and carry the team, frankly,
yeah,
he did
it. Without Charbonnet, without the defense playing well, he went out there and he balled out. and it was great to see. It was great to see that his team believed in him. And I don't know. When you look at the two franchises making the Super Bowl, Sam Darnold has got to be the more confident one because of how you played against the Rams.
Um,
The no turnovers.
it's been
It was a great game.
yeah,
I'm so happy for him,
and
and I think he's earned it. And I would have to agree. If you want to continue to say he can't do it, you can fuck off. Because he just did, and he did it without all the help that everyone seems to think he needed.
Yeah.
The help I thought he was going to need.
I did too. I thought
playing the Rams, he needs that defense to step up. And they didn't.
They made a couple key stops, but again,
he got out there and he played really well.
He did it. There's a couple more notes that I want to get to. First of which, in Mike Macdonald's career, and that's as a defensive coordinator and head coach, he has played in 5 playoff games. He's had 5 playoff games. He is yet to allow a point in the fourth quarter. In 5 playoff games, nobody has been able to score a point in the fourth quarter on any defense he's coached. And I think that is saying something. That is kind of an insane thing. You're going to win a lot of games doing that. So yeah, there's that. And then, obviously, we're getting a rematch between the Seahawks and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. We do not need to see that fucking play for the next 2 weeks. I swear to fucking God.
I would bet they're playing it in Seahawks building. Being like, what we're not gonna do.
I swear to God, if I see that play for the next 2 weeks everywhere, I'm going to throw something. These are 2 completely different teams.
Vastly different.
Completely different teams. You do not need to keep that up. Now, I will say, this is a revenge game. The Seahawks want revenge. It's not just a revenge game for the Seahawks. Everyone is quick to bring up the seeing ghost Sam Darnold. He said that during a game against the Patriots. That is where that comes from. This game is not only a getting rid of the haunting memories for the Seahawks and Seahawks fans, but is also a game for Sam Darnold. So, some cool storylines to potentially come out of this one. Really looking forward to this Super Bowl. But, yeah. And then a couple more things just because I want to. A couple players were activated off IR. Halani played in this game, and then Arroyo did not. So we'll see if he plays in the Super Bowl. Charbonnet and Cable Dew were placed on IR to make room. No surprise on Charbonnet, obviously. And then the PFWA, so the Pro Football Writers of America, have named Jackson Smith-Njigba as the Offensive Player of the Year. Now, this is not AP Offensive Player of the Year. This is 2 different things. But he was named this one. I expect he'll be named AP. Tends to be the same. And then the person I really want to talk about, John Schneider, has been named the PFWA Executive of the Year. And the reason I want to talk about this is his first Executive of the Year. He's also going to be the first GM in NFL history to potentially be in the Super Bowl with 2 completely different teams, with the same team with 2 completely different rosters and a different head coach. There is nobody on that team from the last Super Bowl. There's also not a single head coach on that team from the last Super Bowl. So Schneider will be the first GM to ever have that for the same team. And I think this just talks to how good he has been as a GM. Another guy that I think was doubted for most of it. obviously did have some rough years in the middle. But these last few years, with his ability to draft and the free agent signings he's made this season and prior seasons, this is well deserved. And I think this just goes to show you that currently the Seahawks have it from the top down. So we'll kind of see what it means for them
100%.
in the playoffs or in the
I
Super
think
Bowl.
we will talk other storylines next week, as this will be the main thing we talk about.
Yeah. And I have a couple, but we're going to wait till next week just to fill the
We are
time.
going to wait. Yeah. Um, yeah, again, congratulations to the Seahawks and congratulations to the Patriots. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 Super Bowl.
Yep. For everyone wondering,
And for
February.
every jackass that thought it's rigged, right? And if you invert the fucking colors on the logo, it was going to be the Broncos. Suck it.
I don't. Yeah. Honestly, the logo's really weird. We're not even going to discuss this, but I think it's weird.
Doesn't make any sense.
I think the colors don't fit California. I think they fit like Miami. So
well, that was like if you were supposed to take.
I know the
theory. Current logo, but you had to invert the colors this year, and you got green and orange.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Sure.
It's ridiculous.
But anyway.
Because despite what people want to think, the NFL is.
But yeah, Super Bowl.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If it was rigged at this point, it would have been Josh Allen, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, they don't want the Patriots. I don't think.
No, and you don't want Bo Nix's backup.
No. Now maybe the whole point was for the Broncos, and then the NFL unfortunately had Bo Nix break his ankle. But again, I don't think the NFL's rigged.
I don't think so.
So.
But congratulations to the both of them.
Also think they would have gone with LA if that was the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah, congrats. February 8th, 3:30 Pacific. See what happens. All
right. Well, I do believe that then does it. If we have no other news or sports.
I don't think we do. Obviously, Olympics are coming up 2 weeks. Really excited for that. Right before the Super Bowl. So, obviously, that will replace football for us coming up, as football season is pretty much over. Really, really sad to see it go, but it should be awesome with the Super Bowl coming up. Obviously, draft season will start soon. So it's not going away. Just be kind of in the background for a little bit with the Olympics coming up. Really excited for that. But again, those I believe start the 6th of February, so 2 more weeks. So next week we'll probably focus a lot more on just the Super Bowl prep, maybe talk a little bit of hockey and basketball just to fill the time, but we'll kind of wait and see for next week. With all that being said, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know if you want to see anything next week. Obviously, with no college football and with no NFL games next week, we'll kind of just talk about whatever. So let us know if you have any ideas. But with all that being said, I've been Brendan.
And I've been Dallas.
And this has been Flocks and Sports Podcast. Thank you all for joining.